This is another bombshell. Amber Heard caught lying again. How many times do we need to catch her before more people open up their eyes? Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and I'm just angry. I'm angry that we keep getting these bombshells, these revelations to prove what a despicable person she is. And still, so many out there are just ignoring the story or defending her. And it's just sickening to me. Guys, this is an important story. I want to break all this down for you. I got to do what I always do here, which is talk to my human reviewer. I am not going to talk about anything against my guidelines, so please be fair. Make sure this video is not limited so it can get a wide release because, guys, this one is important. Okay, so what's happening, guys? Let me go back and just give a quick summary, and then I'll break some things down, okay? Because this one's a big one. Johnny Depp was suing The Sun in the UK for a definition and a term, a description of him that he said was false. A wife blank. He lost that case unjustly in my eyes because I followed the case very clearly, not just because I'm a Johnny Depp stan. I followed the case, and I'm a fan of justice, and he's not getting it. And in that that judge whose son works for the Sun, that judge who just happened to conveniently retire after all this happened, the judge who ignored all of Johnny's witnesses and testimony, including from police officers, etc., and decided to just go with what Amber said instead of the actual evidence, the facts, and the witnesses. That judge now has just sort of made Johnny's life complicated because a lot of people just don't believe him. He's like, well, he lost. He lost that case. However, that case didn't really prove anything. It just said, well, you know, these cases, these incidences, yeah, I can say they seem, you know, it had to be 1% possible over a 50-50 opportunity. It was a tough spot he was in, and it sounds worse for him, but the reality is Johnny still has a $50 million defamation suit now against Amber herself. And it's all over this op-ed piece that she wrote that was in the Washington Post. Now, this piece that she wrote, it's very important. I want to start here. If we go back to 2019, you'll see here that Amber hired getting a lot of lawyers, but brought in Roberta Kaplan, who's part of the Time's Up campaign, the Legal's Defense Fund. And she came in and she said this. I want to start here so you can understand why this is so frustrating. The fact that Mr. Depp would even try to impose liability for the statement only confirms the startling breadth of his legal theory. Today's paperwork chides. While Mr. Depp may believe that everything Miss Heard says is actually about him, readers blessed with a grasp of English usage and context can readily discern otherwise, especially in a political opinion piece like this one. This is one of many quotes you can go find if you want to go do the homework like I do and other Johnny Depp supporters. Thank you for always looping me in and finding me this stuff and helping me because there's so much to wade through. But we have the facts. We have the evidence. This was their defense. Well, Johnny, this isn't about you, Johnny. That op-ed piece I wrote wasn't about you. Okay. Well, it turns out not only was it about him, which we all knew and what he's been defending, she didn't even write it. And she lied under oath to say, well, she lied in legal documents saying that she did write it. No, you know who wrote it? The ACLU. The ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union. This is an organization that's out there trying to do good and support rights and basic civil liberties. And they were the ones who wrote the op-ed piece. They're the ones, and this isn't hearsay, guys. Emails have been now released, troves of emails that prove not only did they instigate it, and ask her to do this, but they wrote it for her. Hi, Jody. I'd like you and Amber's thoughts on doing an op-ed in which we discuss in which survivors of blah, blah, blah should be made safe under Trump administration, how people can take action. It could be timed for sometime after 11/14, when it's time to remind the newly elected Congress of their priorities. In the op-ed, she can argue that it's time to make our leaders take this thing seriously by highlighting the following: Congress is delayed, the ACLU sessions, a new title, blah, blah, Betsy Vost. She can also, of course, mention Trump's responsible, blah, blah, blah. If she feels comfortable, she can interweave her personal story, saying how painful it is as a survivor to witness. Now, these emails continue to go through. Hi, Amber. Apologies for the delay. We needed to have this pass through quite a few lawyers first. Please read the notes. You should show this to your attorney, one from your long list. I want to make sure nothing was said in here that puts you in jeopardy with your NDA. What NDA are we talking about? So again, these are all coming in from people through the American Civil Liberties Union. You can read this all. Daily Mail has all of this. You can break it all down. But here we go. Yet another. Hi, Amber. Hope your travel's been going great. Such a great pleasure to talk to you. Tried to gather your fire and rage and really interesting analysis and shape that into op-ed form with mentions of a few policies and growing movement. I hope it sounds true to you. It's attached. She didn't write it. Wasn't her idea. She didn't write it. Sorry for the delay in getting it to you. Many lawyers have reviewed it here and tweaked the policy bits. Your lawyer should review it for you this way as well. I skirted around talking about your marriage. She's only been married once. So, sounds like you're talking about Johnny. Sure sounds like we caught you guys talking about Johnny. Skirted around it, but you're alluding to it. So look, this goes back and forth. So Robin here, who wrote this for her, this Robin at the ACLU. Thanks so much, Sean. I appreciate your work to protect Amber, also to make sure this piece true to her experience. I'd love to hop on a phone if you're available. I'm free now or for the next 5 minutes or again, blah, blah, blah. You had a brilliant solution for the paragraph about not talking about the marriage. My concern is this paragraph. So here's what Amber wanted to do. Amber and her team wanted to make it more about it. So here's what she wrote. I got to be careful of the language here, so bear with me. 2 years ago, after I got a temporary restraining against my then husband, felt the full force of the culture's wrath of women who speak out. The day I left the courtroom and walked into a pack of hundreds of photographers, I didn't have a team of bodyguards. My lawyers used my own bodies to block out space. The whole way I heard press yelling, is it true you're making it all up? So she then goes, can we cut the words marriage, divorce, and restraining order and say this below? If we don't say something that I become a pit figure of this. Look, they're just feeding her. It's all their plan. This isn't Amber's words. This isn't even Amber's thoughts. Amber's just like, okay, whatever, exposure, anything I can do. And so they changed it all, and then she kept trying to make it more about him, and she kept trying to slide in more. I got to be careful of some of the language here, but you could go through all of these emails, and it's so scary. So depressing that not only was she clearly making it about Johnny, which she said she wasn't, and then it's so crazy. So here's all good except the edit is a no-go. Lawyer without warning, claim privilege, advisor. What was this? Here's the edit back to the Washington Post. When they cut the first mention of her being early witness, all of this stuff. She, of course, can mention Trump's The essay is assigned to Robin Schulman, who sent her to first draft. Pleasure to talk to you. Heard's lawyer sent a note of caution days later, striking out obvious references to Depp and warning that references to their disastrous marriage would land her in court. So they all this stuff that she was wanting to put in, they cut. Within my marriage, anyway, what happened to me publicly, all this stuff that she said wasn't about Johnny, they were cutting, but they were still clearly doing everything in their power to make it about him without using the word him or that's all they thought. But then they're clearly writing it about them. The legal edits, her lawyer sent a note of caution, striking obvious references to Depp, warning her the disasters could land in court. Any reference at all to marriage or divorce, even to say the word marriage or divorce, and then elaborate that you're not, in fact, talking about it, is a technical violation. Would a reasonable ex or his lawyer object? Of course not. Will the opposing side that we're dealing with? Likely yes. Heard and Schulman have been keen to mention how Aquaman actress sounded, all this stuff was nixed. But Amber wanted to keep putting it in there because Amber wanted it to be about Johnny Depp. She wanted to be out there as the victim to make all this clear. I think Eric's edits get us still 95% of what you want. Send it off, and the torpedo is ahead. A member of Heard's communication team said the op-ed was published 6 days later and appeared in print. Like many women, I've been blah, 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 blah. Got to be careful of the words here. 2 years ago, I became a public figure about it. All this stuff, she didn't even write it. 3 months later, Depp filed for defamation in Fairfax County, Virginia, where the Post is printed, saying the article wrecked his reputation and got him booted from Captain Jack Sparrow. He's been fighting an uphill battle with Britain's court last year. They rejected a separate defamation claim against the Sun. I told you that, labeling him the wife, because the allegations were substantially true. That's what's so frustrating. People are like, well, he was proven guilty. No, it had to be. We had a lawyer come on and talk about this. It had to be 50-50, 1% over substantially, and then he could say, well, yeah, well, it is. And the way that court system works. And so... Friends say he's determined to fight on and won't contemplate settling, which accuses Heard of creating the hoax account and blah-da-da-da. His own filings, Heard does not claim to be the sole author of the op-ed, stating that she wrote it with the assistants, but that's a lie, because as I showed you here, she said she did it. In fact, I have more here. I want to show you this. Amber Heard said in a sworn statement, I wrote the op-ed. When things went south, her lawyers scrambled, and suddenly I wrote it with the help of my counsel. Now it's ACLU wrote it for me. They got me in trouble. It's their fault. But here it is. I wrote the op-ed in Los Angeles, submitted it to the Washington Post. Through my contact at the ACLU, who was based in New York, the op-ed was published on da-da-da. I do not believe I ever spoke to an editor of Washington Post in order to travel. Dude, you wrote the op-ed. When she realized she was in trouble, she changed it and said, well, I had assistance. But you didn't say, well, the ACLU wrote it all, and I chimed in with some thoughts, and they just put it all out to paper for me. This is sickening. This is sickening. What out of her mouth is ever true? What are we supposed to believe here? I don't understand how people are still believing her. She's now countersued $100 million. Dude, you are... It is so scary. There's lots more coming to this, but guys, the reality is, how many? Look, she lied about donations. She said, what's so crazy about all of this, guys, is that she said the ACLU is covering up payments that she made on her behalf. She literally is saying that the ACLU. I thought I had it here. Did I lose it? There are literal quotes from her that show that she's She paid the ACLU, which she didn't do. Here it is. I make sure I have it. Thanks to the real Laura B for putting these out there. Amber Heard never actually donated to the ACLU, the $3.5 million she promised. Only the initial $100K that Johnny Depp donated from the settlement, because he was going to do the payments automatically, and she insisted on having the payments so she could get the tax break. But no, she got the whole break because she kept all the money. But then here's the ACLU. Just lying. The American Civil Liberties Union lying, saying, donating millions, yes. Thanks to Amber Heard for her generosity, donating millions. Look at that. That's insane. And she never did. All these lies about the donations, lies about the body cam, saying there was damage around it, but there isn't. All these Amber Heard witnesses, dude, there's so much adding up and going on. I don't know what else to tell you guys. She is in trouble. And it's just scary because seeing how things I post here are shut down. There is something going on here, guys. I'm not like a Mr. Conspiracy guy at all, but there are some serious powers behind this that have been doing everything in their power to just knock this down and bat it away and trying to get him to run away with his tail between his legs so they can all just be like, whoo. But the reality is there's a lot more to be uncovered. This woman is a liar. She's perjured herself countless times. The Australian incident, she's literally being questioned. The FBI is looking into her for all this, for lying under oath and lying to them about previous cases. How is she a reliable witness in any of this? Guys, it's terrifying. I want to know what you guys think. Did you get ads throughout this? Did you get one now? Let me know. I know so many of you are fans, and supporters of mine, and you're fighting the cause with me. So thank you so much to everyone who's doing the work to put this out there. If you're just stumbling upon this and you're amazed, spread it, share it, comment, like this, help us get the word out. Do what you can. Hit the subscribe button here to help this channel grow as we continue this. Hit that bell to all alerts. YouTube is unsubscribing, you guys. So double check, hit the like, leave a comment just for the engagement, get involved in the conversation, help get the word out on these stories. More and more is breaking. I saw Phil DeFranco posting this finally. There are some other big channels and outlets that are starting to finally pay attention to go, Amber, this isn't looking good. Because it's not, and it hasn't been for a while. So Amber, it's time to start getting honest. You're in trouble. There's too much piling on, coming out. What do you guys think? Tell me your thoughts. Appreciate all you guys. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet.